Hello everyone, and welcome to MAT 1033, which is Intermediate Algebra for the fall of 2020. This is an online course, and it is an 8-week course, so it does not span the entire full 16-week semester. It's only the first half of the fall semester, so keep that in mind. My name is Robert Schaller. I'll be your instructor for this course, and this orientation video is going to be basically where you're going to get all your questions answered as far as how do I get set up with this course, how does the course operate, what is expected of me, how are grades being calculated, etc., etc. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to go back to this video and watch it again. It should explain everything, 99% of what needs to be explained. Usually that first week is a bit of an adjustment for you. Unless you've already taken an online math course, then it may not be a huge adjustment. But for people who are new to online courses, or they've struggled in math and now they're trying to take an 8-week math course, you're going to have lots of questions, right? Obviously. So come back to this video, and this will take care of all the where do I go to find this, or how do I know my grades being updated correctly, and things like that. You can always check with this video. It'll show you where to go. But as far as the math goes, all those videos are in the the MyLab math component software. So this video is just going to be me instructing you how to get set up and ready for the course. So if you're ready, let's do it. I've got my webcam turned on here just so you can see my face. I'll make myself a little smaller, that way I'm not blocking anything on the screen. So when you first log into your MySCF and you go to your Canvas page, you'll see your course. It's not published just yet because I'm still making this video. Once I'm done with this video, I'll click that publish button and you will see everything. But this will be your course 1033 online for the first 8 weeks. That's why I call it A. I have a B as well, which is the second 8 weeks. When you click on that, right now you're watching this orientation video, but I just kind of want to walk you through everything that the course has. So you'll click on the page or click on the course page, and it should take you to this home page where you will see first and foremost a pre-test. Now this pre-test is just a first assignment. Consider it like an attendance assignment to make sure that you are a physical human being on the other side of the computer. So that way I know, I can mark you down as having attended the course within the first week. So make sure you take this practice quiz. It does not affect your grade at all. It is not going to count towards your grade or against your grade, however you want to look at it. It's just for you to know for yourself, am I prepared for this level of mathematics? Do I need to maybe go back and take like a pre-algebra before I jump headfirst into this math course? Or you might take the pre-test and get perfect everything right, and you might think, well, I actually did some algebra in high school, and I did quite well. Maybe I should be in level up. Maybe I should be in college algebra. But 99% of the time, students are in this course, and they're placed in the right spot when they are put in this course. So you're most likely in the right spot. But take this practice quiz, and it just gives me an idea, who is definitely prepared for the course and who isn't prepared for the course. I would say out of those, there are 15 questions on the practice quiz or pre-test. If you get less than 5 correct, I would be a little concerned. You probably haven't done math in a little while, and that could be a reason. You might be a little rusty, or you didn't have a calculator. You can use a calculator on it if you'd like. Just be honest with yourself. Don't look up those answers online. If you get 100 on the pre-test, but then start failing the actual exams, how did that help you? So take that. I will open up the syllabus. Actually, I will click on the PDF version. So that opens on the entire screen. There we go. So again, I just kind of want to walk through the gist of what this is. There's a lot of wording on here. I suggest you read through it, not with like a fine-tooth comb or anything. You don't have to read every single word, and memorize it. I'm not going to give you a quiz on the syllabus, or maybe I should. No, I won't do that. But read through the syllabus so that you can see, what's expected of you. but I'm just going to run through the highlights. This is what you really need to know. So that is me. This is where my office is on the Bradenton campus, building 27. Room 110 is my office, not like a classroom. So if you're ever on campus, and yes, the students, as far as we know for this semester, are allowed on campus, but you do have to be wearing a mask if you're on campus. And I can't have like physical office. Well, I mean, I can within reason, but administration is encouraging us to use virtual office hours rather than physical office hours to keep as many people off campus as they can. That is my office number, not my cell phone number. I've had students say, "Hey, did you get my text last night? I couldn't get the homework done. Can you reopen it?" No, I didn't get your text. You don't have my cell phone number. That'd be crazy if I gave 200 students my cell phone number. But there is a voicemail, so that is my office number. This is my email. Best way to get in touch with me is through email. Bear with me, I do have a lot of classes this semester, and they're all in different formats. Some of them are face-to-face on campus. Not quite sure how that's going to work out for me. Some of them are strictly online, like you guys, and then some of them are using the new Go Live format, where it is me teaching in front of a webcam with a whiteboard. So again, bear with me, but typically within 24 hours, you should hear back from me. I'll say 24 to 48 hours, maybe, just in case there's a weekend or a holiday. Those are my office hours. Again, they will be virtual office hours, and I will post a link in Canvas, so you can click on that link during those times, and it should take you right into my virtual office hour. So course description, yeah, it's just intermediate algebra. You're probably going to need this course if you're trying to get into college algebra or MGF 1106, 1107, topics in math, liberal arts math. Or if you need statistics, this is a course that will allow you into statistics after you pass this course. The main thing, and I've got it highlighted here, well, in yellow. It's already highlighted. I don't know why I'm re-highlighting it. The main thing here is this Schaller 34335 code. You're going to need that code when you use the MyMathLab software. It's going to ask you, okay, whose course are you in? And that code tells MyMathLab, oh, you're in Mr. Schaller's 1033 course. So really important. It's right there on the syllabus. It'll always be there. But I will take you to MyMathLab in a second and actually show you how that all breaks down. So I'm going to write it down. That way I don't have to come back to the syllabus to get it. A calculator is required. You're allowed to use a calculator on all exams. Please don't use your phone as your dedicated calculator. Again, be honest with yourself. The way the exams are going to work is going to be giving exams through the MyMathLab software. And you are allowed to use a calculator, obviously, but don't cheat. Be honest with yourself. If you try and cheat through all this, it's an 8-week course, so if you cheat for 7 weeks, and then come week 8, you have to use an actual calculator and sit down and take an actual physical final exam, pencil and paper, with someone watching you to make sure you can't cheat. Why would you throw all that away, waste all that time? So be honest with yourself. Let's see. So this is important. On the final exam, you have to get 60% or higher in order to pass the course. And yes, it's happened. Some students have gotten A's all the way throughout the course, and they say, hey, I've got a 93 in the course. Maybe I'll just do poorly on the final and get a B, but at least I'll get a B. And then they end up getting a 50 on the final exam, and their grade might calculate out to like a really high C or a low B, but I can't give you that C. I can't give you that B. I definitely can't give you that A. The best I can do for you is give you a D, which is not passing, because a lot of times, students, they feel like, oh, well, it was just one final exam. Obviously, I've shown that I learned the material and I can do well. You have to pass me, move me on to the next course. Well, then, if you couldn't do 60% of this material in the end, pushing you into college algebra is only going to make your life worse, because if you don't retain all of that information, and if you're not able to use it all at the end of this course, then you shouldn't be going on to the next course. So that's why we have that stipulation there. I could have deleted that composition thing out, but that's fine, it can stay. There are 5 exams and then a final exam. So there are 6 exams in this course, and it is an 8-week course. So yeah, you're going to be taking almost 1 exam every single week. So keep that in mind. Towards the end, you'll actually take a 5th exam, and then right after that, a final exam. So it's pretty exam heavy. So keep that in mind. So 500 points for the exams. Each one is 100 points. 200 points for the final exam, and it is cumulative, so it covers everything throughout the course. So that final exam is worth double what one exam is. And then the MyMathLab homework is the stuff that you do actually on MyMathLab. You watch the videos, you do the homework assignments, and then once you've completed those homework assignments, typically that grade should be very good because I give you unlimited number of attempts on questions, so that should be a really good grade. So I wanted to maximize as many points as I could there for you. But other than that, the department does not let me change around, the numbers on the exams. They have to be that weighted that specifically. Especially the final exam has to be weighted that specifically for all 1033 courses. No late work. We'll talk about late work when we get to the MyMathLab stuff. Attendance, basically within that first week, I just need you to take that practice quiz. And if it gets towards the end of the week, I might start poking you. I'll put some emails out there and say, hey, you didn't take the quiz. Hey, you didn't take the quiz. In order to be enrolled in this course and stay enrolled, I need you to take that quiz. You got to complete that first assignment. Otherwise, we have to do what's called a no-show, meaning you did not show up. Electronics, just make sure you got reliable internet connection. That's on you. You signed up for an internet-based class. So if you somehow tell me, hey, look, I don't have internet for the next 8 weeks, well, then you should not be in this class because you're taking on that responsibility. So you need to have it, or get your butt to Starbucks or the library or something. Make sure you have a good, reliable internet connection that you can, access MyMathLab. Now, I say that sometimes MyMathLab goes down. They do some maintenance. Usually they try to do the maintenance during hours when students are less likely to be on, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But I have had some people, up at 2 a.m. trying to, rush to get their last assignments done. And I don't have any control over that. If MyMathLab goes down, then MyMathLab goes down. I can't turn it back on for you because even I don't have access if it goes down. We'll adjust due dates if we need to, if it's down for an extended period of time. And I do feel like because, we're in this climate now where everything's shifting to online to, make sure we're practicing safe social distancing and all that. I would expect MyMathLab to have some troubles within the first couple weeks for sure, because so much of the country is now shifting from being in the classroom to being solely online or half and half, however it may work out. So a lot more instructors and a lot more students will be using the MathLab software. So I expect it to maybe have some issues in the first couple weeks. So just hang in there. Other than that, again, you can kind of read through some of this stuff. There's a 1-800 number for the MyLab Math that if you do have an issue with like your login or something like that, you could call them and eventually you'll get a physical human being. For the most part, it usually is a robot for the first couple steps. Recording devices, really nothing to say there. Make sure you communicate with me through your Canvas email or your student SCF email. I check both regularly, and it's for the first week. If you're using like your Gmail or something, I might just respond back to you and say, please use your official student SCF email or email me through Canvas. Those are the only two I can communicate with you through those two specific emails. After week 1, if you're emailing me from your Gmail saying, hey, when's that next test coming up? And the email that pops up is, coolguy105@gmail.com. Sorry, coolguy105. You're not getting a peep out of me. I am not responding to that email. In fact, I am not allowed to. So usually for the first week or for, first couple days, I send a nice little response back that just says, you need to use your student email because I have no idea who you are. Other than that, crickets. Right? Withdrawal policy, I will be the first one to be honest about this. the withdrawal policy on the syllabus is a mess. If you have a question about withdrawal, please contact me. This is beyond my control. Everything you see on the screen right now has to be on this syllabus according to my department chair and according to what they said from administration higher up. Basically what it says is there's a specific day. I don't know the exact withdrawal deadline for first 8 weeks. I'll update you on that. I'll make an announcement on Canvas. But after that deadline, I have to give you a letter grade. Before then, if you withdraw before that deadline, you just get a W. It doesn't hurt your GPA. It doesn't really affect your transcripts. It just basically says you got out before things got bad, and you made the smart choice of saying, I'll just take it at a later time. Whereas once you pass that withdrawal deadline, I have to give you a grade. And it's an F because you withdrew, you did not complete the course. So I hate to do that to people. They get really close to the final exam and then they say, ooh, I want to take this again. You already took too much of the course to be able to back out and take it again and get a better grade. So unfortunately, I'm looking up at my webcam because I have a second monitor over here. And now I'm going to drag that little box there. So it looks like I'm looking at you. Hey, you think I would have figured that out 10 minutes ago, right? DRC, if you have any issues with the DRC, or not issues with the DRC, but I mean, if you have any issues where you feel like you deserve extra testing time, or if you feel like you want, a private environment, well, I guess now you're at home and it's online, so generally I don't get a lot of DRC students in my online courses that need any sort of extra stipulations on their work other than maybe a little bit of extended time, but that has to go through the Disability Resource Center. So if you do need any help, contact them. They are great at helping people. Department chair, my boss essentially is our department chair on the Bradenton campus, Kim Gieslin. I can fix 99% of issues, but every once in a while there's one issue where I just have to say, you know what, that's above my pay grade. I wish I had an answer for you. Let's email Kim. Let's talk to Kim. Let's see what she recommends. So if you have something, contact me first. I'll be the filter because she has plenty of work to do already. So I will be the filter, and like I said, I can usually figure out 99% of the issues that we may run into. This is new stuff that had to be added to the syllabus. It really was only supposed to be added to the syllabi that are for our face-to-face classes, but I want everyone to have this information. And you're probably getting more updates through your SCF email about what's going on campus. But I just want to let you know if you do come to campus, because I've had online students, pop in for an office hour or something. So if you are an online student, it doesn't mean you're not allowed to come to campus. But you do have to practice social distancing, and you have to be wearing a mask at any point you're going to walk into a building. You need to be wearing a mask. So I just wanted you guys to have that information. So this is a big one, and it's a little confusing to myself as well. So we are piloting or testing out this what is called HonorLock software. And basically what it is you have a webcam and a microphone, and you take your final exam with your webcam and your microphone on. They may ask you to take your webcam and scan the room to make sure there's no one holding up a cheat sheet. But for the tests that go throughout the course, we don't have to use this HonorLock software, so it's just going to be go on MyMathLab and take the test. And again, I don't have control over this. This is my boss telling me I have to do this. We have to use this HonorLock software for the final exam, or at least that is the plan. Things may change, who knows? If things get better, you might be able to just come into campus in a room and take the test. That way we don't have to mess with this HonorLock stuff. If things get worse and all classes go back online, and it's not like a mixture of live classes and online classes and face-to-face lecture classes, who knows? Things may still change. I myself have not used this software, so we'll both be figuring it out at the same time. So keep that in mind, though. When that final exam comes in week 8, it's going to operate a little differently than the regular exams, just based on the fact that we'll need to use this software. And then this last page is, pretty much the most important page. It just tells you all the sections that we cover. and roughly when all the exams are. The actual dates, due dates for the exams are in the MATLAB software, which I'll show you next. So, keep this in mind that this is the pace of this course. It's only 8 weeks. You will be done by October. Actually, I believe it's that Saturday, October 10th is like the last official day of the class, but that's a Saturday, so no assignments there. I decided to put that final exam as late as possible for you guys on that Friday, October 9th. Time, I'm not 100% sure on. I don't know if I can give you, if it's in honor lock, you might not have to start it at 10 a.m. and finish by noon. I might be able to give you a movable, like, 2-hour window. It'll be 2 hours. That's traditionally what our final exam times run. But you may choose to say you want to start at, 5 p.m. and go to 7 p.m. on that Friday. Maybe I can give you that 24-hour window and you can choose when you want to take it, rather than just say you have to take it at 10 a.m. and finish at noon, because some people might be working. That's the reason you're taking an online class, is because you work a lot of hours. Again, bear with me. For all my classes, I always tell them in advance on day one, this is the time you will be taking your final exam on this day. But for you guys, it's still a little TBA. So bear with me, but we'll figure something out. The way I would like to run it is so that you guys have more of a window, and then somewhere in that day on Friday, whether it's early in the morning before you go to work or late at night after you get home from work, just keep that in mind. You're going to have a final exam that day at some point. Okay, back home. Yes, this video will be a little bit lengthy. I apologize, but I really want to hit everything. So good on the introduction stuff. This stuff is not for a grade, but these are just, oops, I closed it. This stuff is not for a grade, but it is helpful for each exam. So the exams you'll be taking over in the MyMathLab software. But I wanted to give you guys some extra help, just like I do with my face-to-face sections. I give them these study guides. So again, don't worry about this study guide being due the same day, but this is the actual study guide that I give to my face-to-face classroom, and I have them turn it in for points so that I know they have something to practice leading up to the exam. I figured I would just give them to you anyway. If you want to use them, use them. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to use them. But a lot of times I get students say, hey, are there any extra tools I can use to practice, or do you have any more problems I can do? I keep doing the same one over and over again in my math lab, and it's giving me the same numbers, so it's not really helping me practice. So I can give you this study guide, and it can help you practice for an exam. And I gave you the answers. They're all on the last page or two. So you've got all the answers at your disposal. And there's also one for the final exam. That one's pretty hefty. That one's actually pretty lengthy. Forget how many questions, maybe 70 or something like that. You don't have to do them all, but it is extra practice, because I do get a lot of students say, hey, how do I study for the final exam? Well, here you go. It's 52 questions long. So, and again, all the answers and just a bunch of practice for you. So they'll be there. You can use them if you want. You don't have to, though. Okay, so as far as Canvas goes, really the only other thing you'll probably do is peek at your grade in Canvas. I will keep your grade up to date. Usually what I do is, like once a week, I'll just go into my math lab and I'll just start slowly, updating the grades from my math lab into Canvas. Usually after each test. Okay, so one way to get to well, it's called My Lab Math. I keep saying My Math Lab because that's what they used to call it. But you can just Google it, My Lab Math. It's the first link that pops up. And it should take you to a screen like this, where you've got two options. Either you've done My Math Lab work before and you have a login, then you can just sign in. Or you've never used My Math Lab and you need to register. So if you have a login, sign in, and then you'll just need that course code. Or you can register, which means you need to create an account. You'll still need that course code. I'm going to click on the registration. So see, already technical issues. And they'll usually give you either like a pop-up, or maybe even if it's major, they might send out a massive email to all their users that say, we're experiencing trouble and we expect to have it fixed by this date and time. So you'll need your email address. And again, if you don't use your SCF official student email address, then if you email me through the MyMathLab software, I can't respond to it. So make sure you use your student email here, your course ID, and that was the Schaller 34335 that we had off the syllabus. And then, of course, you'll have to pay for it. So you can either buy an access code in the bookstore. It's literally just a piece of cardboard that when you open it up, it tells you a number that proves that you paid for it at the bookstore. You'll have to type that in. Or if you don't buy it at the bookstore, you can buy it right here, right now. There's also a way to do a free trial, like a free 2-week trial. When you get to that screen where it asks you to pay, scroll down a little bit. It's somewhere on the bottom, and it's like a little blue link. Of course, it's free, so they want to hide it from you. It won't get you through all 8 weeks, but it will at least get you started. Until you're waiting on a paycheck or you're waiting for financial aid to kick in. At least it gets you in the course and started. So it's not an excuse. Don't email me and say, well, I can't buy it yet because my financial aid hasn't gone through. So can you extend all my due dates? No, you have to start today with the free trial and keep up until you do get it with financial aid, or if you're waiting on a paycheck or something like that. But at least it gets you started. So again, of course, I already have an account, so I'm not going to go through this whole thing. But I do want to show you that it is going to ask you for a course ID, which means you're going to have to type in that, and you can see I've got a whole bunch on here. All lowercase, no spaces. It's just my last name. I do not have a C in my last name. That's usually the big mistake. People do SCH, like a scholar. Thank you. Yes, I am a scholar, but you don't have to call me that. So you type that in, hit continue, and it will say, great, this is the course you want, MAT 1033 for the fall. Again, the A just means it's the first 8 weeks. There's my name, and it tells you when the course ends. Of course, the course ends actually sooner than that. It's October 10th it ends. But I left it open a little bit longer, just in case there's ever an issue. I like to do that. I like to just leave the course open a little bit longer. And then I have an account. If you don't, you'll have to create one, which you have to go through all this. You have to type in your name, make a password, check all the boxes that say, yes, I'm signing my life away, give me access to the course. And then once you've done that, the next screen will take you to your payment. So it'll say, okay, did you already purchase it in the bookstore? Tell me that long, I think it's like a 20-digit access code to prove that you bought it. Or it'll ask you, would you like to buy it now? And if you click buy it now, you just use your credit card and you can buy it right there on the website. But again, on that next screen, there is an option, usually it's on the bottom, where it says, I'd like to try a 2-week free trial. So if you don't have any way to pay for it, or you haven't purchased it in the bookstore, click on that 2-week free trial, and then you'll be in. The next page, you'll be in the course, and that will look, once you log in, if you have multiple math courses, or you have a previous math course, it might still be there. But when you log in, you'll see your course, and there it is, Schaller 34335, and it is for our online section. Okay, so this is where everything's going to happen, essentially. Canvas is just for like syllabus and the practice or the pre-test practice quiz, and then of course those study guides. Canvas is just like a placeholder. It's just like a bucket where we can put stuff. Whereas the actual course is in MyMathLab. So more than likely, just set it up as your home page for the next 8 weeks, right? So that when you log in, it says, haha, you need to do some MathLab work, and you go, okay, let's do an assignment. But the way it's going to work is, or the way I envision it working for students is, I will start by logging into MathLab. If I'm a student, I would log into MyMathLab, and I would say, okay, what assignments are due, and it'll tell you, hey, these assignments are almost due. You should be working on these. But when I look on my left-hand side here, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff, and it might look confusing. Don't worry, you can click every button you can. You're not going to break it, right? Only I can change things in the course. So don't be afraid to click around and see what you can find. But the ones that you'll use the most are the Assignments tab. That is where all your homework is going to be, and you'll see the exams in there, except the final exam. Well, again, that could change. Wait till we get there. But you'll see all your homework and your exams and everything in that Assignments tab. We'll come back to that. There's a Gradebook tab, so you can check on your grades, see your progress in the course, see if maybe you skipped an assignment and you need to go back. There is the e-text. This e-text is the actual textbook, so you do not need to buy a physical in-hand textbook. You just click on the e-text and it will take you to the textbook pages. It's exactly mirror for mirror image of what the actual textbook is, but it's just online in PDF format. So if you have like a tablet or something, it's great because you can like swipe through the pages, and you've got all the same resources that you would have in a normal textbook, other than actually being able to physically have the textbook in your hand. And if you're old school like me, I keep all my math books, and if it's a course where it says, we recommend you buy this book, but you don't need to, I usually still try to find like a used or maybe even an older edition. And I like having the physical textbook, but I will be 100% honest. Most students get through this course without really ever even touching this textbook. So it's not something you need to buy, but students can get through the course based on the videos and just completing assignments. So you have that at your leisure, but again, it might not be the first go-to place. Student Solutions Manual, that's for all the problems in the e-text. You actually have access to the solutions manual for those problems. And it's not just answers, it's like step-by-step solutions. But again, it's coming out of the physical Student Solutions Manual book that they offer. Study plan, probably not going to do anything there. Chapter contents, video organizer, all that stuff is just kind of extra. You're looking for extra stuff, then that's all you're really going to get. The way I like to do it when I'm a student is I log in, I look at my assignments, I say, okay, what do I need to complete? And then I watch the videos. If you go to the multimedia library, and I forgot to do it, I'll actually do it. I'll reorder these so that the multimedia library is up under the assignments tab. I don't know why every time it always throws it on the bottom. But this is how you'll access the videos. So let's say we start in chapter 2. Let's go to something like 2.3. Let's say I need to complete assignment 2.3. Then I'm going to go look up the section video lectures for 2.3. And then it will pop up all the videos that it has for that section 2.3. So if you click on the first one, it is the entire section 2.3 explained from start to finish. If you look at the other ones, Objective 1, Objective 2, Objective 3, that just takes that long first video and breaks it down into little chunks. So you can see there's like 4 little objectives that it has to do. If you watch the first video, it's just these 4 objectives all just back to back to back. So you don't have to watch 5 video lectures. You really just need to watch 20 minutes of lectures, which is, each one of these could probably be like 5 minutes or so. So however you want to do it. If you just want to do it one objective at a time, you can do it that way. Or if you'd rather sit there for the whole 20 minutes and take notes and watch the video lectures, you can do it that way as well. But this is what I do. As a student, I click on the video lectures, and this is the author, Elaine Martin Gay. And I've gotten some good feedback about her teaching style and stuff like that. I've gotten some good feedback about the videos. So you can go in. This will be like your instructor for the next 8 weeks. She does a great job, so no reason for me to just redo her same job again. Just go in there, watch the videos, and when you're done and you're comfortable and you feel like you've got the concepts, then you can go back into the assignments and start working on those assignments. So I'll show you what I mean. When you click on assignments, now you're ready to get some work done. So you're going to click on your homework, work through all those homework sections. You can see the due dates are here. You'll always have the due dates wherever you need them. On the left-hand side, you'll always have those due dates, so it'll tell you exactly when assignments are due. And you'll see that this test 1 is due on August 31st. So by the end of August, you'll have completed this test. It shows you the time limit, and it shows you the number of attempts. So each exam is just going to be 1 attempt, and including the final exam, it'll just be 1 attempt. But the homework, you have an unlimited number of attempts. You'll notice there's no, you have 3 attempts to complete this assignment. You'll notice that there is an unlimited opportunity for you to complete the homework. So the way I have it set up is you click on the assignments. You'll see, okay, this section has 20 questions. Let's start with question 1. It'll ask me, a question, and I have to answer it. Sometimes it's fill in the blank. Sometimes it's multiple choice. Sometimes it'll give you, like a graph that you have to play with. So they're all different types of questions. But let's say I'm looking at this question, and Another thing, make sure you turn your pop-up blocker off, because this thing always opens in a new window. You'll notice MyMathLab is pretty much always going to yell at you and say, hey, your pop-up blocker is not turned off. You may have to manually go in and turn off your pop-up blocker to allow this window to pop up for you to get onto the homework software. So let's say I'm hoping this is wrong. Okay, good. So let's say I type something in and I go, oh, wow, that wasn't it. It'll give you a little bit of feedback. It'll say, hey, sorry, that's not correct. But I think you need to look into doing maybe one of these steps. So it'll actually give you some feedback. Let's say I'm really stubborn and I want to check my answer again. And I say, okay, well, I think I did it correctly this time by answering 9,999. Final check. Uh-oh, I better be right. It'll say, well, sorry, it's still not the right answer. The correct answer was -6. So now it'll say, okay, next question, which means this question is wrong, and it's going to stay wrong. Or you can type similar or click similar question. It'll give you, change the numbers just a little bit, but it'll give you another chance. Right? So it's marked wrong right now because I never got the correct answer, but it will give you a chance to redo the problem. That's what I mean by unlimited number of attempts. Just keep redoing that question. And if you do accidentally go on to the next question and you say, okay, well, now I've tried my first question and I got it wrong. Let's do this again. Okay. If you click on this box up here, you can see that it has me marked as wrong for that first question. And it'll do that as you go. It'll mark, if it's correct, it'll put a little green check mark. So you can always click on that question 1. Or you can click on these forward and backward buttons. And it'll ask you, hey, you didn't finish this question. Are you sure you want to move on or go backwards? And you can just say yes. But you'll notice I still have an attempt. Let's say I want y = 1. See, it's just letting me do it all over again. It's letting me redo the question. So that's actually a really nice way of setting it up, because I feel like, I want you guys to learn. I don't want you guys to just get a grade and move on. I want you guys to understand the math. I want you guys to be more prepared, so when you take the next course, you know what you're doing. You'll notice that there's links up here, right? There's Help Me Solve This. If you click on that, it'll actually work through this question with you. But look on the screen, and if I hit continue, it'll walk me through and sometimes have me fill in things step by step. Once I close this, Help Me Solve This, notice it changed the numbers on my question, because it just did that question for you. So it's not just going to let you type in that same answer. It'll change the problem a little bit, usually just the numbers around, and it'll say, okay, now try this one. Right? We just walked you through it. Now try a different problem that's basically the same. Or there's View an Example, which is different. Right? So you have a problem, -5y + 9 on the left-hand side there. Notice this is different, -3y + 9. So it'll give you a different question and say, let's work through this one, which means if you're already halfway through solving your original question and you don't want the software to change that because you don't want to lose all that work, then you can do View an Example, and it'll say, okay, we'll save where you're at on your problem, set that aside. Let's work through this one and figure out where you're getting stuck. Once we get you past that speed bump, you just go back to your problem and finish it off and type in your answer. Because now if I hit continue and work my way through this, it's giving me an example and it's telling me what to do. But once I close this, again, watch those numbers, nothing changed. Right? So you still got your original problem. Typically, a lot of the course is using those two. Watching those lecture videos, and then once you've watched the lecture video, do the assignment. I have some students that just jump right into the assignments and don't watch the videos. I mean, that's doing it kind of backwards. Now you're attempting a bunch of problems and getting them wrong, and you're getting frustrated. So then you're using this to try and get it right. In that case, you're just doing it for a grade. You're not doing it to understand the material and then be graded on your understanding. If you just jump right into the assignments without watching the videos and start typing away on your keyboard and trying to guess answers, then you're working backwards, right? You're not doing it to understand. You're doing it just to complete the task, which again is not going to help you in the next course. You can print these. You can send me an email. There's an email right here, Ask My Instructor. It'll pull up another screen, and it tells me exactly what question you're on, and you just need to tell me what you're struggling with, because I can see all the answers you've input. I can see what time you're working on these assignments. So yes, if it's 2 a.m. and you're working on your homework, I can see that you are working on your homework at 2 a.m. If you type in, one incorrect answer and then email me and say, hey, I typed in the correct answer, but it didn't give me the points, I can see your answer is incorrect. So, it's a very helpful feature, but again, make sure you're using your student email when you register, because that's what this has me respond to or reply to, whatever email that you've used. So give me a quick message. Say, hey, I got negative. They're saying it's positive. Can you tell where I messed up? Right? Something like that. Don't just email me and say, I can't do this. I'm going to email you back and say, yes, you can. Why can't you do this? What have you tried? What isn't working? So, just give me a little bit of guidance there, and so that I can give you, the proper guidance. Okay, I'll leave that. So I'm gonna go back to the assignments page. Bear with me, we're almost done. But I'm gonna go back to the assignments page because again, you can see when all these are due, and I've made them all due the following Monday. So real quick, I'm just gonna go back to that last page on the syllabus to show you what I mean. When you look at that last page on the syllabus, I like to call that the pacing schedule. You'll see all these assignments, 2.3 to 2.8, are in week 1. Notice they're due Monday of the following week. Right? Same thing here. You'll notice all these assignments. So you got to take that test and do 3.1 to 8.1. All these assignments are in week 2, so they're all due on the following Monday. I didn't do like Sunday at midnight because I figure, if someone has questions and I'm not available on Sunday to answer your question, at least on Monday I can, answer your question before it's due that Monday at midnight. So when you look on the syllabus, all this week 1 stuff is going to be due Monday, the 24th. So yeah, this course goes very quickly because there's only 8 weeks. So there's quite a number of sections to cover most weeks, and most weeks we'll have an exam. So if I go back to, oh no, that's the text. I don't want that. If I go back to the assignments tab, again, you'll see all those due dates lined up, and then that first test is actually in week 2. So it's not due until the 31st. There is only 1 week where, so the September 7th is a holiday, so everything's closed. So I didn't want to make things due on that day that we're closed. I pushed it to the Tuesday. So, this stuff that's due on the 8th is actually a Tuesday, so keep that in mind. But everything else is on Monday at midnight. The nice thing about that is for the homework, if you don't finish the homework on time by that Monday at midnight, if it's, Tuesday the 25th and I haven't finished any of these assignments, I have it set up so that you can go in and continue to work on those homework assignments, but your grade will be reduced by 20% on the stuff that you complete after that due date. So if I finish 2.3 to 2.7 by the 24th, I get full credit for those, and then I get like halfway through 2.8. It'll give me full credit for those half questions that I did, but then I realize, oh, I didn't finish the other half of 2.8. You can click on it and go back in there, and it'll warn you on the screen. It'll say, the work that you complete from here on out will be reduced by 20%. So, you can continue where you left off and still get a decent amount of points for those that you do after the deadline. Again, I want you to learn the material, not just complete tasks, right? So the only thing is for the test, there is a hard cutoff. Right? So for the test, you've got to take it by that day. It's due by that Monday, August 31st. You can see it's open right now. I could jump in there and try to take it right now. I would highly recommend you do not do that until you finish the homework. That's what the homework's for. But you have one attempt on that first test available to you right away. So depending on how fast you get through the homework material, you can knock out that exam or test 1 right away. Or if you want to take your time with the homework assignments and wait till that 31st to take that test, that's you. But do know that after August 31st, that test 1 disappears, because if you have not completed it by then, you do not get to complete it. So make sure you sit down and you take it. I gave you 2 hours for each test. I believe each test is about 20 questions, right? I didn't want to make it too crazy. So I gave you a nice little 2-hour window. Once you click on that exam and start taking the test, and it'll warn you. It'll say, hey, you just clicked on this test. This is your one shot. If you decide to start this and then halfway through feel like not completing it, going back, studying, and trying to retake this test, it'll say, no, sorry, you used your one attempt. So make sure you are serious before you click that Start Test button. Again, I recommend going through all the homeworks, completing all the homeworks. My ideal situation would be get 100 on all the homeworks because, that's a big part of your grade, and then you should be well prepared to take the test. But if you want some extra practice, remember there are those study guides over on the Canvas page. Again, they're not for a grade, they're just there for your benefit. You may want to work through maybe study guide 1 before you take test 1. It'll get you more prepared. So yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything now, and I will try and keep this video being not much longer by just saying, again, the first week is a big adjustment. After that first week, you guys, for my online classes, I almost never hear from you guys anymore unless it's like an issue with MATLAB or a question about the final exam or something like that. But you guys are usually pretty independent. I can see you guys working in my MATLAB. I will post updates and announcements, in the actual Canvas course, depending on what I hear as far as the situation with social distancing, and who knows, campus might close again. So any important announcements, like if I have to change an exam, or if I have to remove an assignment from my MATLAB. I'm trying to think of situations where I might make an announcement to everybody. This is where I'll do it, right here on the Announcements tab in Canvas. But yeah, other than that, browse through the syllabus, get registered for the MyMathLab. If you don't have the money, or you're waiting for financial aid, at least do the 2-week free trial so I can see that you have access to the course and you have the ability to get the work done. And then as far as classes go, you guys are online, so I'm not there to watch over you. All you got to do is come up with a schedule that works for you. Sit down, watch those videos for each section in the multimedia library. When you're done watching, section 2.3, click on assignments, do assignment 2.3. See if you like this format, because if you do not like this format on day 1, chances are you're not going to like this format, on day 101. So, make sure that you're comfortable doing an online is 1, 8-week, that's 2. Oh boy, this is getting tough. Math, that's 3 course, right? So you've got online, which is usually more difficult than face-to-face, just because of the process through which we interact. It's a fast-paced half-semester course. It's 8 weeks, not 16. That makes the difficulty level go up. And of course it's math, right? Math is probably the hardest thing to do online. You generally want someone there to help, guide you. Or you want an instructor where you can say, hey, wait, I have a question. And then the instructor can give you that immediate feedback. With the videos on my MATLAB, you can't ask her questions. She just does her lecture and then stops. You can rewind and go back and look at it again, but she's just going to say the same thing. So that's where an email to me might be helpful. If she's not explaining things in a way that makes sense to you, maybe I can explain it in a different way that'll make sense to you. Of course, we've got the Academic Resource Center. They have virtual tutoring. You can always go through them and get some tutoring through them. I'm not available 24/7. I'm teaching other classes, and of course, I have my dedicated office hour blocks. If it's a situation where you need some help for an extended period of time, or maybe at a later hour when I'm not available, the ARC is there to help you out. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so we'll cut it off there. I want to say, thank you very much. Make sure you take that pre-test and register for my MATLAB. Get started, get working, and as long as you are honest with yourself about being able to stick to a schedule, get that routine going and stay with it. Watch the videos, complete the assignments, and just get those tests done on time. As long as you get in that nice routine, you should be pretty successful in this course. So if you have any questions, please email me. Other than that, I'm going to upload this video and publish this course. So have a great semester. Thank you guys and girls.